I'm pretty sure that this argument is original to me, but I might have heard it from an external source and later falsely attributed it to myself. The argument is that if there's a God, there would not be moral uncertainty. If there were a God, you'd expect us to know right from wrong. Yet in the real world, we don't generally know right from wrong. There are many good, God-fearing Christians on both sides of most issues. Yet this poses a problem for theism. It makes sense, arguably, that God would give us free will and allow us to do evil, to test us, to see if we do good. Yet why would God not let us know what's good and what's bad? This argument short-circuits most defenses given by theists of why there's evil. It short-circuits the free will argument. Knowing right from wrong does not in any way usurp free will. In fact, humans already have an intuitive view of what is right versus what is wrong. The intuitive view that we already have doesn't eliminate the possibility of free will, given that we already have it. And so if it did, then it would be impossible for us to have free will. Yet most theists argue that we do have free will right now. Unfortunately, as was pointed out in a 2000 paper by Nick Beckstead, throughout history, our moral intuitions have had a very poor track record and have frequently justified very bad things. People intuitively supported slavery. They think intuitively that it's okay to run factory farms that abuse animals, and many others. People intuitively supported a bevy of heinous things that have not been good for the well-being of conscious creatures. The theist has to justify why the moral law that's written on our hearts is wrong and contradictory. Why would God make us intuitively think that we know right from wrong, yet many of the things that we think are right are in fact wrong? People will sometimes say that we need evil to appreciate good, yet that doesn't explain why we don't know right from wrong. People will also say that this is a fallen world, yet that doesn't explain why God sets up a causal mechanism which causes the fall of the world to make us not know right from wrong. People will argue that we do know right from wrong, yet this is clearly false. There are good people who are both pro-life and pro-choice, in favor of and against gay marriage, in favor of increased welfare and against increased welfare, in favor of higher taxes on the rich and against higher taxes on the rich, in favor of foreign aid and against foreign aid. We should generally assume that people are telling the truth. And if they're telling the truth, then the moral law that's written on the hearts of different people is different, and the moral law written on our hearts is sometimes lying to us. Why does the moral law written on our hearts lead some people to virtue ethics, some people to deontology, and some people to consequentialism? It's not clear why a perfect God would write a false, contradictory moral law on our hearts. However, the atheist hypothesis explains this quite well. If our moral views are the result of twists and turns of evolution that optimize for survival and for maximally reproducing, not finding deep truth, then you'd expect disagreement, and you would expect our moral intuitions often to be way off. And then when we look in the world, we see that our moral views generally don't seem to track deeper truth and are often way off. Well, that's all for now. Remember to subscribe and like and such so it can gain more prominence and argue with more prominent theists. Thank you.